From the island, Sint Maarten. This is SXM Daily News for December 19th, 2025. On Saturday, December 20th, 2025, the Sint Maarten Police Force, KPSM, in collaboration with various law enforcement partners, conducted a large-scale multi-agency control operation at the four borders of Sint Maarten. The operation took place between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. and was carried out in close cooperation with Customs, the Immigration Service, the Sint Maarten Volunteer Corps, VKS, Marines, and the Gendarmerie. Objective of the operation. The objective of this joint operation was to strengthen border control and enforcement at the borders and on the roads of Sint Maarten. By combining the expertise and capacity of all involved agencies, a wide range of controls could be executed, ranging from vehicle and document checks to targeted security measures. Execution. During the 2-hour operation, several checkpoints were established at strategic locations. The KPSM, Customs, and the Immigration Service were responsible for border and document controls. The VKS and Marines monitored the outer perimeter and provided additional support where necessary, including assistance with vehicle searches. Results. The control operation is considered successful by all involved parties. Clear positive effects were noticeable both at the operational and societal levels. The following results were gathered. 471 vehicles were inspected, 270 persons were checked by the Immigration Service for documentation, 7 buses with a total of 59 passengers were inspected, 3 scooters were impounded, 2 vehicles were seized due to inability to present valid documents. 4 persons were arrested on-site by the Immigration Service for failure to present valid residence documents. 3 of them were released after valid documents were presented by family members. 65 persons were preventively searched by the police. 40 vehicles were searched by Customs. 1 arrest was made by the police for violation of the Opium Ordinance. KPSM emphasizes the importance of such multi-agency control operations for the safety and law enforcement in Sint Maarten. The cooperation between the various law enforcement partners was excellent and contributes to a safer Sint Maarten for all residents and visitors. These types of controls will continue in the future, particularly during the busy Christmas and New Year's period. The KPSM, together with its partners, remains committed to conducting similar operations to ensure safety and enforcement on the island. The Court of First Instance of Sint Maarten has vindicated the Ministry of Housing, Spatial Planning, Environment and Infrastructure, VROMI, in summary proceedings brought by residents of Jordan Road No. 12 in Kupakoi, dismissing all claims against the minister and the country of Sint Maarten. The judgment confirms that VROMI acted properly in issuing permits for the Westview construction project and that the access road dispute is a private, contractual matter. In a decisive ruling, the judge rejected the plaintiff's attempts to use civil proceedings to challenge administrative decisions already subject to proper legal review. The court's judgment validates VROMI's position on multiple fronts. Permits properly issued. The court confirmed that the building permit and 3 civil works permits issued by VROMI were granted following proper procedures, including technical inspections, expert opinions, and opportunities for public input. Administrative process respected. The court ruled that the civil route was inappropriate, given that administrative law options remain available and are being utilized by the plaintiffs. No ministerial liability. All claims against the minister for imposing a construction freeze or revoking permits were rejected. Clear jurisdictional boundaries. The court emphasized the importance of maintaining proper separation between administrative and civil court functions. The court ruled unequivocally that the access road issue stems from a January 2025 settlement agreement between the plaintiffs and NLGY Development, a purely private law matter in which V. Romy has no obligations or powers. The minister cannot impose a construction stop to enforce private contractual disputes between neighboring property owners. As the court stated, even if the claimant's argument is correct that the emergency services cannot reach their homes, the minister cannot take action against this with a construction stop. Parliament on Thursday, December 18th, unanimously adopted the Declaration of the Parliamentary Alliance for Climate Action and a Just Transition, formally committing to regional and global parliamentary cooperation on climate action. The declaration was considered and ratified during a public meeting of Parliament. During the meeting, President of Parliament Sarah Westcott Williams said the document now requires closer examination by members of Parliament to determine priorities and direction.
I would say, like how they call it in the boxing ring, let's get ready to rumble! Because this is crazy. On one side, we are proving getting rid of, and bettering the environment. And then on the next side, we have literally a government that says we don't have the time, we don't have the energy, that is not our focus. So I am really wondering, and even listening to the previous speaker, what more can we do? We have a motion signed by a majority of Parliament. Nowhere in the motion states you have to do. The motion speaks of literally look into it, come back to us with an idea. But the mere fact that that has not even been done, then I think to myself, Parliament has absolutely no power. And then to hear nothing from, the members of Parliament that are part of the coalition on this, then I think it is extremely sad. Because if we bring a motion as a body here in Parliament, then it is the job of the government to execute, and maybe just with a little more respect, because I didn't feel that at all. So I've not publicly came out and said anything about the response from the Prime Minister, but it's coming. It's coming, and it's very, very disheartening, because I know people are sitting now waiting to hear solutions. And what I am hearing, and I said it previously, I said, I don't see it happening. I don't see no betterment when it comes to GB and the health of the people here on St. Martin. Madam Chair Lady, I think the way you read, what we are here discussing today, I think it passed over a lot of people's head. And I think it's best that we really sit down and explain exactly what it is was signed in Parlatino and what is expected of Parliament and this government in order to say, hey, yes, we are moving forward with, what we agreeing or trying to agree upon. Because to me, it's like, it is frustrating. And I know, Madam Chair Lady, you expected this, because this is unacceptable.
Encourage the government more. I kind of agree with MP La Cruz. I don't know how much more we can encourage the government. At one end, we have members of Parliament saying motions are not necessary. We just talk to the government. So how do we expect, or what is the intention of the MP then? How do we encourage the government more? Do we just speak on the floor of Parliament for speaking sake? Do we bring motions? How do we encourage more? I think there's a lot we can do with the small budget that we have. A lot of ministers complain about lack of funding, but what we have is a lack of, not trust, but that too, but a lack of pushing simple policies that we have now. If you look at the boardwalk, right, the boardwalk is filthy. right? To clean up the boardwalk. We have a bunch of vehicles. Had a senior came to me yesterday in St. Peter's. He said, MP, there's 40 cars up on Marigot Hill. Can the cars be removed? We have Illich Road, a bunch of cars in Illich Road. We had motions in Parliament and discussions with the Minister of Justice also about the cars in Coal Bay on Orange Grove, parked up on the side here, the cars of traffic. So we have a lot of things that we can do already, right, that we don't do. So we are here signing declarations in Paralatino, but we need to sign a declaration here as a Parliament and government as are we going to execute the small little tasks that we have here in St. Martin that we can do with our budget? Going after the illegal under mechanic body shops, the cars on the road, that doesn't require budget. That requires executing the policies that are there already. So I hope to get an answer in terms of, as a Parliament, how do we expect to encourage government more? Because we can't say motions are not necessary, right? We call meetings, we have discussions, and nothing happens. So what are we going to do outside of this, with this public meeting today?
But I do believe that there are some issues that have been raised that as chairperson of this Parliament, I would like to respond to. And I think my response have primarily to do with what now. And in answering what now, I will address several concerns and queries raised by members of Parliament. More and more, this is a general comment, more and more the Parliament of St. Martin, because we have been actively seeking parliamentary alliances, so working with other parliaments as well as parliamentary organizations. And more, and you see it globally as well, parliaments are given specific responsibilities. For example, the parliamentary role in the Sustainable Development Goals is something that is being pushed. Parliament looking at the matter of global peace and having a voice there as well. So more and more, as our Parliament becomes and continue to be a member in these different parliamentary organizations, we are called to support declarations, to support statements on a parliamentary level. This declaration is one such a call. But as we go to be it Parlamericas, Parlatino, and other parliamentary meetings, more and more we will have to establish ourselves more firmly as a parliament. This is something that many of you have heard me over and over advocate, that I do believe there is a more independent role, and this ties into MP Erin's comments, for the Parliament itself. So we have this declaration, and we will be getting more. There are more in the make, encouraging our participation in different matters.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXM, yeah. Your social and health insurances.
SMMC, as we approach the close of 2025 and the holiday season, we would like to take a moment to extend our sincere gratitude for your continued collaboration and support throughout the year. At St. Martin Medical Center, our mission remains steadfast to provide high-quality, patient-centered care close to home for the people of St. Martin, Saba, St. Eustatius, and our visitors. This mission is made possible through the strong partnerships we share with individuals like you and organizations like yours, whose commitment and cooperation play a vital role. This year has also marked continued progress in the construction of the St. Martin General Hospital. This transformative project represents a major step forward for healthcare on the island, and we are committed to making significant strides in its development as we move into the new year. We are deeply appreciative of your trust, partnership, and shared dedication to improving healthcare on St. Martin. As we look ahead, we remain enthusiastic about strengthening our collaboration and continuing to provide exceptional care to our community together. On behalf of the entire SMMC team, we wish you, your colleagues, and your loved ones a joyful holiday season and a healthy, prosperous new year. We look forward to continued partnership and shared success in the year ahead. Prime Minister Dr. Luc Mercelina, on the Corporate Governance Council, approved the final steps in the process for the appointment of new supervisory board members for NVGB and Telem Group of Companies. This is an important milestone in strengthening corporate governance, accountability, and stability within our energy sector. The achievements that have actually been achieved by the building ministries in our government. I have submitted the formal letter to the Parliament of St. Martin outlining the achievements of each ministry. Speaking at the Compress briefing on Wednesday,
the Corporate Governance Council approved the final steps in the process for the appointment of new supervisory board members for NVGEBE. This is an important milestone in strengthening corporate governance, accountability, and stability within our energy sector. I will not disclose any names at this particular moment, as the process is in its final stage and subject to remaining formal procedures. I would like to inform you concerning our telecommunication company, Telem. Yesterday, 3 new members on the supervisory board of directors has been appointed by the shareholder for GEBE. I think this is also a great development for us to see how we're going to move forward with all the challenges that Telem is encountering, and hopefully we will be able to solve them. Further, I sent yesterday a list of the achievements that actually has been achieved by the different ministries in our government. I have submitted a formal letter to the Parliament of St. Martin outlining the achievements of each ministry. I would like to make use of this opportunity to thank my fellow ministers, cabinet staff, and also the civil servants of all the ministries that actually cooperated for us to be able to send this achievement list per ministry to Parliament. And I would like once more to thank everybody that contributed for us to get to this point. Further, I would like, of course, to make use of this opportunity to extend my warm holiday wishes to everyone in St. Martin, and of course also those living abroad. In the coming days, the Department of Communication will issue, of course, a Christmas message and also a New Year's message from myself as Prime Minister of St. Martin. As we close this year, let us remain united, vigilant and committed to building a safer, stronger, and more resilient St. Martin. And ultimately, I have something on my wish list for 2026. I really love my island, and we love our St. Martin. We want to be proud of our St. Martin. And on my wish list as Prime Minister for St. Martin, I would like to see for 2026 a cleaner St. Martin. I'm asking everybody to contribute their part to make our island shine, for our tourists to be impressed how clean our island is. And I hope that if everybody try to do their part, contribute their part, make a little cleaning outside the garden, next to the road, do what you can, don't litter around on the island. I believe that in that way, with discipline, we will be able to have this island beautiful and clean again for 2026. So, as Prime Minister, I'm counting on you all for a cleaner St. Martin for 2026. And once more, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Willemstad, the food bank in Curaçao, has managed to assemble and distribute 350 food packages during the Christmas period, ensuring that hundreds of people in need received assistance before the end of the year. The figure marks a significant improvement compared to August, when the food bank was only able to distribute 100 packages, leaving many vulnerable households without support. The organization has been facing increasing challenges, as donations continue to decline while it receives no structural subsidies from the government. At the same time, the cost of assembling food packages has risen due to higher food prices. Despite these difficulties, a recent donation drive helped bridge the gap, allowing the food bank to reach far more people during the holidays.
Now for weather forecast, today through Tuesday morning. Fair to partly cloudy. Isolated showers are likely. Surface winds, today through Tuesday morning, northeast to east with a gentle to moderate breeze at 8 to 14. State of the sea, slight to moderate waves, swells 3 to 5 feet. Outlook through Wednesday morning, fair to partly cloudy with isolated showers. And now your 3-day forecast.
Your social and health insurance is your social and health insurance.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social and health insurance.
We have more on the Member of Parliament speaking out on the Initiative National Ordinance amending on admission and expulsion from St. Martin.
A personal example, I've been trying to help a young lady with the same situation for over a year and a half, and she just called me 2 days ago, almost basically in tears, saying she finally got through, etc. She was born here, went to school, graduate academy, top of the class, etc. So now she's able to, continue her studies and things like that. So I know the sentiment. I have a question in regards to the 10 consecutive years with the tax. Now, the issue is the lack of accountability on the parents to begin with. So now when you have this 10 years, it still comes down to the parents doing what they have to do for the child to now get where they have to go. So now if they do 8 years, if they do 9 years, what would happen? Are they going to have to start back, or they're going to, so that's my concern there. So 10 years is a long time, and not that it isn't valid, but the responsibility still falls on the parents to do what they have to do to ensure that the child is able to get the citizenship. So that's my only concern.
Colleague Amida Weaver stated this is something very important as it involves the kids. I myself have the privilege of working with, one of the kids, now adults, who finds himself in a very similar situation. But then I also, when you look at issues that involve kids, it gets very tricky, because in some instances, the law that is there to protect the kids, it also kind of works in the opposite direction, especially when it comes to a small island like St. Martin. So when it comes to situations like this, I like to refer back to what the advisory bodies say, and then I look at the Council of Advice, and I look at the SED as well. And when you look at this whole situation, I just have a couple of questions, because I do believe that the intent is well, but the SER and the Council of Advice also put a lot of emphasis on the fact that a lot of information needs to be gathered. A lot of data needs to be gathered. The effectiveness of it needs to also, I would say, if I can translate what the SER says, they kind of basically say that the effectiveness needs to be proven. So lowering the age, how does that actually affect St. Martin? And that's a social economic aspect as well. And I think that the SER kind of gave the MP the opportunity to go and gather the data and come back, and I would like to see the results of that as well, because I do want the SER's actual advice. The SER gave recommendations as to how to prepare the law in this trajectory, but I also want their actual advice on the law itself, and that only can come if all of the information is provided and it's done in the right way. And I think that that also has to do with government getting involved. And then it comes to my basically next question. The sentiment of the Ministry of Justice is what I'm trying to figure out. How do they feel about it, and not the opinion on the law per se, because I don't think anybody can have a personal opinion against the intent of this proposed amendment. But when it comes down to the feasibility of it, and then I'm looking at the numbers, I'm looking at the numbers of the illegals, I'm looking at the numbers when it comes to the taxes. So basically, I would want to know from the ministries, and maybe also the Ministry of ASR, given the MP's former post. So those two sentiments for me is what I would like to see before we, push this law into the trajectory of, bringing it to a public meeting and then for it to get stuck there.
To see a problem and try your best to solve the problem. And we could all, for many years, we've all, we've spoke about the problem, but the initiative to start to do and get it in place that future generations to come, it will be better, it will make things better for them. And I say this because every country's most important resource is their human resource. And we can only imagine, because of a system, and I'm going to have to be brutally honest, because of a colonial system that we find ourselves in, we have persons, imagine the brain drain that St. Martin suffered over the last 20, 30 years because of a lot of these students that were not able to get higher education. I know of some cases where some of these students were valedictorians and then was not able to go on and get higher education. We have compulsory education on one end where a child must be educated, but then once, it stops. So imagine the doctors and the lawyers and the technicians that could have come back now and contributed to our society, and that was not able to happen because of a technicality in the law. So based on that, I tip my hat to you and commend you for the initiative.
CBC News report on the last weekend before Christmas, and store owners in the city are expecting a major boost in sales. As reporter Akeem Clinkett reports, foot traffic in Bridgetown has increased significantly, more than at any other time this month. In Barbados,
Tis the season for shopping, and with this being the last weekend before Christmas, Barbadians were out in their numbers to get all the finishing touches for their households for the season. With salaries and payment for workers being disbursed this week, the Bridgetown area stores were packed as Barbadians were making sure that their households are in order with food and other items. Speaking to some of the store owners, they too as well reported seeing an increase in shoppers entering their stores. Managing Director of Woolworth, Martin Bryan, says his company is ready for the last-minute hustle and rush from customers.
Monthly paid workers would have gotten paid yesterday. Any bonuses also would have come into play. So this is the last weekend now, extended hours, all weekend long, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday up to Wednesday. We expect that this weekend, all weekend, should be relatively busy. We are certainly prepared. We have our stocking, extra staff on. We expect to have, hopefully, next couple of days should be good.
Another store owner, Chandra Thani of Jason's, says that from December 1st, his store has been busy, but he has seen an improvement in sales and traffic throughout the store this week.
You know how it is. People go wait for the monies to come. I think they've started to got the money. So we've seen from last week like a lot of action, a lot of people coming in. And this year, of course, there are so many new items we have put out. Of course, Christmas pajamas has been the in thing this year for the whole family. So we were busy right through from the 1st of December for that.
And owner of Abez, Adi Abed, says this Saturday is especially good for his store on sales. He calls it Super Saturday, as it's the second biggest day for his store after Black Friday.
We've seen a steady increase since last weekend, building into this the final few days before Christmas. This really, every year, is what we call our Super Saturday. The last Saturday before Christmas is second only to Black Friday for us. It is a very special day. It's last minute. It's no longer looking around. People have made up their minds. Bonuses have been paid. Meeting money has been paid. So it is time to purchase. And frankly, if you have this stock and if you've been able to do it right, you will be rewarded come this time.
Several store owners are still expecting last-minute sales from now until Christmas Eve. Akeem Clinkett, CBC News.
The Netherlands could be heading for its coldest Christmas in 15 years, with temperatures forecast to plunge in the coming days, according to Weather Bureau Weerenline. An easterly wind is bringing in colder air, leading to light frost at night and daytime temperatures around freezing. With a strong wind chill factor, however, it will feel much colder, Weerenline said. Monday will see daytime temperatures of around 7 degrees, but by Christmas Eve, it will freeze overnight. And on December 25th and 26th, temperatures will rise to no more than 1 or 2 degrees above freezing during the day. It will also be sunny for the time of year, with plenty of blue sky, particularly on December 25th. The chilly conditions mean it may be possible to skate on artificial outdoor rinks by the end of the week. However, Weerenline warns against high hopes of widespread outdoor skating, saying it is not cold enough and the wind is too strong for ice to form in most places. The KNMI Weather Bureau forecasts that the cold spell will continue and puts the likelihood of snow at 40% heading into early January.